anyhow, so we can capture some of this, because Alan does go through the transcript afterwards, so that's going to be helpful. So just the other point we had there was that Sam raised a question: is it okay if the Charlotte Stonewall runs with the Charlotte front runners? And I said that was totally fine. That sounds very complimentary. Wayne might be just waking up too.
Right.
When my territory was, before it was changed, and it includes some of the southern areas, there was one town, and I can't remember, that had a Stonewall club with a running component, and they didn't have a front runners club. I'm not sure what city that was in. I can't remember now, but
I think it's Raleigh.
Right, that's it. And I convinced Raleigh, say, you need to join front runners. It's just free publicity for you. Just, you know, your Stonewall group is part of front runners. And I think they did for 1 year. I don't know if they've continued to pay dues or not. I don't think so. But
Yeah, they're back to Stonewall.
yeah.
Morning, Buddy. Oh, you're doing your Peloton at the same time, are you?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, hi, I'm in New Zealand now. I'm gonna run a marathon in about say 55 minutes. So I might excuse myself in about 45 minutes. Yeah. I'm just currently say in the South Island of New Zealand, and yesterday I was in Christchurch and speak with some people. I get one person who might help us start a front there. There's already an LGBTQ sports, multi-sports organization, so that's looking good. Yeah.
That's great. We haven't had much success with New Zealand for a while. They've been very quiet, especially during COVID. So it's great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're very resilient.
Morning, Wayne. Oh, Wayne's connecting. There we are. So let's see, who else have we got coming this morning?
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Wayne.
Oh yes, here's Brad's email.
Brad's not coming.
No. Okay, so Michael's can't come either, Michael Ambrose. Right, so should we get started then? Just get the screen share on. Because Buddy's got a drop in 30 minutes. So I'll make that bigger. So we have the last minutes. Has everyone had a chance to have a look? We'll all approve the minutes from the last time. Did you get them? Don't remember. All right.
I don't remember.
I
I couldn't access them.
We got them. I got them.
Okay. Well, we can send them around again afterwards, but are we okay to approve the last ones?
Yeah, sounds fine.
All right. So I checked into, so going through the agenda, unless we need to bump anything up because somebody's got to drop off early. So the only other thing I was going to talk about was the newsletter. I might start with that. The newsletter, because Buddy, I think we may need your help. I don't know if there's anybody else who can help with this newsletter production, because I had a go at it. But I think last year, Buddy, it was you and Richard sort of did that. Is there anybody else that can work on it, or is like to help you? Or
We're just missing some sections, right? Like the sections that we're missing is we only got like a few features from Canada, but I guess we're gonna go ahead and send updates that we got. We got a couple of regions missing, or not a lot of updates. But I think we're just gonna go ahead and send, like, say, whatever updates we get.
Yep.
If they don't get it, maybe like they're gonna feature in the next one. A number of segments that are missing are the interview sections. That's something that I'm still trying to work out with Jake Fedorowski, the non-binary person. I think there's a lot of things that he wants to say. Like they want to say, sorry about misgendering that. They want to say in their cause, and also yeah, I'm trying to find the time that works for that interview. And also, like, I think there's a segment from sorry, I'm looking at the newsletter. I don't know, it's 61 pages.
yeah, I think it's already over time. Do you have capacity to edit it right now? Because we want it to be ready for the AGM. If nothing else, it's got to be. Yeah. We've got to put that out then.
I'm hoping to, let's say, within the next 1 week, so I can within the next 1 week, I can to send it out, and then we can even, like, say, feature what we agree today. Like, if we want to, like, say, propose the changes to the constitution, we can write it there as well. And then if we are looking for, like, say, new regional representative, we want to put the call out on that newsletter as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then treasurer's report. Can I? Yeah, I would love to get treasurer's report, and I think gay games as well. Gay games update.
Well, I don't think we need to have. Alden can give you a written report. I don't think it needs to be like the report that he gives to the meeting. So, like, just yeah, you've got the paragraph in the newsletter, Alden. You've got to do.
But apart from it, like, it's almost ready to go. Like, we probably already, like, say, 90% ready.
Yeah.
So,
if Alden doesn't give you a paragraph, just delete it.
Delete
Do you want to write a report, Alden? You're on mute.
Yeah, I can do that. Just a summary of the topics.
I think it's important, especially with so much money coming in from the Brooks thing, for you to just summarize that. Yeah.
Right. No, that's fine. And I'll send that to you, Booty.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I ask how relevant it'll be now? Because I wrote my reports something like, I'm going to guess 10 weeks ago.
Oh, well, if you'd like to update it, you've got a little while, but I think it's got to go out. A lot of people have spent some time contributing, so we shouldn't, we should honor that
Yes, but it was
contribution.
due to go out on the 1st of May.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Wayne, do you want to put on, like, say, an update for gay games as well?
I did a report just 2 weeks ago for Chris. I did an update.
I'll send it to you.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, thank you.
Yep. Okay. So that's the newsletter. I checked to return to the agenda unless anybody else wants to bring something up forward.
Can I just go back to the newsletter? So it's going to be out by the what? 2nd of July or something.
Yeah, 2nd of July, and then we'll write a report about, like, say, how did the International Foreigners Day went, because we had a lot of, like, say, people, like, in foreigners sharing their stories. We can even, like, say, include that. It went like a success. Yeah. So it goes down in the records of history.
Yep. So do you want to just send that around the final copy before you publish, Woody, to the social media and everything like that, and just let everyone see it? And you're going to PDF it this time again? Do you need help with that?
One. Yeah, PDF.
Yep. Okay. So if you need any help, give us a shout.
Okay.
Is that all, Wayne?
I just got that it's going to be out by the 2nd of July.
Yep.
2022, just to make sure.
I've got a lot of projects that are over a year late that all their project managers are trying to cancel them because they no longer exist as far as they're concerned. We're almost about
Well,
to deliver. So
My comment would be, we've lost the news in newsletter because it's terribly old.
more of a magazine now.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, people have got some pictures and things like that. At least people will want to see themselves in print. So that, I think we should still.
And there's loads of pictures on Facebook that came in. So
I know.
if you want to look at and I even put an IFR Day album up.
Oh, okay.
Amazing. We can feature that.
We should make a TikTok of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go back to the agenda. The Zoom account, they don't have community Zoom. So there's the free Zoom, and if that's not good enough for you, then just have multiple meetings of 40 minutes, they say, and they're actually tightening up on the multiple minutes of 40 minutes, multiple meetings of 40 minutes, but they say that's their free version. So there's that. We need to be tighter if we're going to use the free one. So I don't know whether we want to continue to go forward, and I think, Alden, we might just see if we can get an IFR Zoom account organized in that case.
Right. Yeah, I was just starting to look at that and trying to figure out how it works, because when you sign up with an email address and so forth. And so I was trying to figure out what makes sense. And I asked a few questions of Brad to sort that out, to see if we can use a generic IFR one and how we might want to work that. So I think we need to look into that a little bit more, just to see what our limitations would be and how how to use it.
Okay, you do that. I think it might make sense it's the president that should arrange meetings. So if the president wants to share the password for it, that's fine. So I think if you use something like IFR secretary, the secretary arranges the meetings. So if we use the IFR secretary generic account, would probably be the most sensible thing.
Right, that's what we were thinking originally, and so forth. Yeah.
So you're still talking about a free one or a buy one?
No, they don't have the free one. We could always also do the same thing with the free one, but the free one is the 40 minutes talk for free with up to 100 people. But if you want to go 41 minutes, they're now saying they're going to cut you off. In the past, they put this big banner up that says, "You cheapskate, you should have paid for the expensive one," on everybody's screen. But now they are going to cut you off. So I think it's $200 a year or something like that. So if we just pay for the same package that a lot of people use. You can pay a lot more, but we don't have hundreds of people as a rule. The paid account for $200 only goes up to a meeting with about 100 people in it, but we got 95 for the AGM. So do you think we don't need any more than that, do we?
Right. As a rule, I wouldn't think so.
No. So
I think we could manage with that.
Yep. So Alden, you continue to talk to Brad and get back to me about how you want to proceed with that.
Right.
Okay. The revisions to the Constitution. So there's a few things knocking around. Buddy's had some comments come through, as well as Alden's. I think overall everyone was happy with Alden's revisions. And Buddy, you've sent the draft around as well. So do you want to make any comment about that?
Yeah, basically, we don't want to just remove, let's say, women out of inclusion of women just because to make it say gender neutral. We want to basically just expand the inclusion rather than dropping things that mention women.
Right. So I thought those were some valid comments, because that was the original intent, was to try to encourage women and so forth. So yeah. I was interested. I thought Woody's comments were good. I just wondered what the rest of the steering committee thought, just reviewing that language. And then once, if everyone's in agreement, we should just do a write-up of the actual changes to each section, so that they can then be presented once we're in agreement. Just come up with the actual language. Yeah.
Yeah, I think otherwise it represents sort of erasure. So
Mhm.
we can go. I'm happy to go with that. I like this, you know, supporters changed to allies now. I think that language is more modern.
Mhm.
But Alden's right, because I did the original constitution and it was to really encourage much more women.
Mm.
I think the older version of Constitution is great. We just need to keep it updated with the times. And then no doubt, like in a number of years' time, like 10 years' time, this revision that I did with with all of you, it's going to be need to be updated to keep up with the times.
Oh, here's Gully. Yes, I was interested to see, I can't remember who one of the drafters of the American Constitution, oh gosh, was it Thomas Jefferson, I think, apparently suggested that the Constitution be revised every 19 years, like you get a new Constitution because the Constitution for 20 years ago won't suit the new generation. And it's been a while between revisions. Okay, but that's good. So if, do you want to just put a final draft around with these changes in it, and we'll confirm by email that that's the one we'll take to the AGM?
We have to hurry up because the AGM is on in a number of weeks.
Yes.
And it's all this
Yeah,
has to be
we have to have-
prepared.
Yeah,
Well-
we have to have the proper notice.
Yes.
Do you want me to write that up and then send it back to reflecting
Yes.
Booty's comments and then
Yes.
pass that around, just the final text?
Yes, please. So you
Thank
could
you so
do,
much, Alden. And then probably we can include it in the newsletter as well.
Okay,
So you know that at the AGM, this will take up could possibly take up a sizable amount of time. Particularly if people want to go from point to point to point to point.
mm,
I'm just saying, be very careful.
I think it would matter how we introduce it, right? To kind of summarize why we're doing what we're doing so that we
Sure.
kind of get buy-in.
I do have a couple comments and once we get to talk about the AGM, so I'll hold it for that.
all right. So you say Wayne's comment is it's going to take a sizable block. How much would you allow, Wayne? 15 minutes, 10 minutes?
I can't guess because I've been through these before with various other groups and you can take many hours.
Oh, I'll be snappy. Don't worry.
Well, you can't because if you're trying to change the constitution.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's important. And I think you're going to hear possibly from women because the women are the ones that are quite upset by it all. I'm on so many committees where they're doing this and the blockage comes mostly from women.
Well, I don't want Sam to have to stand for her entire gender, but
Yeah.
so how do you suggest we work with that, Wayne? Aside from you're saying it might be a potential point of conflict, but well, you know,
I think you need to be prepared that we might, if it's going on and on, but you might have to withdraw the whole.
yeah.
Yes.
Well, if it needs to be discussed further, that's fine.
Yeah.
So you know, if I've been through many AGMs with difficult
Mm.
questions on them, so we'll see if I can get this one across the line. But I think it's a worthwhile change. I'm sure a lot of people, I'm sure the majority will agree. So yeah, that's
Right, if it ends up with any changes and so forth, we'd have to put out the proper notice, so it might end up being like calling a special general meeting
EGM.
just to handle that portion.
Yeah.
send it back to committee.
Right.
Yes.
Whichever, we'll have to see.
All right. Group email questions from Brad.
He's given a reply in his email.
Yeah, again, it was the point he made in the last meeting is you have to be using the email that you're on the IFR website. And if they're using multiple ones, send it in to Brad so he can add it to the approved list so that then it won't be blocked or put in the spam or on hold.
Yeah, I think Alain got caught up in that last time because he was sending it out to individuals as well as the IFR steering committee, and so a lot of people didn't get their notices.
Is Elaine on the line?
No, he hasn't had to. He couldn't come this morning, so he's going to read the recording. Did you want to point anything out to him? No. Everyone's gone off camera.
Sorry, I had to go and get my iPad.
Okay.
The camera thing.
No worries. So I think Buddy's going to drop in a second too. Is there anything we wanted to say further to that? Is this what the email issues were? So we just got to get Brad. So
Right,
we know what the time, date and place for that is. So we can just send that back. I can send that back to Brad.
Yeah, I thought, hang on, I've got it written down.
he was just looking for confirmation.
The 26th of July at 3 o'clock European time. CET.
What's the address?
Oh, well, that I don't have on writing, but he did send it out.
23
Yeah, but we can get that to Brad.
1500 hours GMT. What was it?
CET.
GET, Eastern time.
So I presume Central Europe time.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mention anything about Central Europe daylight time.
This is the last year. They're not going to do daylight saving anymore. They're going to stay on daylight saving.
Oh my God, was they worried about the curtains?
Well, Britain might be, but they're not. So they just said it's ridiculous to get people chopping and changing all the time. We're staying on daylight because in the winter time it's dark anyway, right? So why bother? Just stay on daylight.
They're staying on daylight. They're not going.
Yeah. They're not going back into the dark and staying there. They're staying in the daylight, even if it's winter.
Well, God,
I think the US is doing the same.
Oh, what year is it in that bloody country?
Well, they're talking about it, but I don't know if what's gonna happen.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, there's a lot of states that don't participate in daylight saving anyway. So if they all go forward, then they'll always stay in the wrong time zone. They'll never.
Is that real? Oh, I didn't know that. I thought they all did.
Yeah, no, some like indigenous reservations and things don't. Arizona.
Yeah, Arizona doesn't go on daylight savings.
Is that the one that there's a state that's only got half the state on daylight saving and the other half isn't?
Yeah, I'm not sure where the boundary is, but there may be some part.
Bloody country.
It's a famous West Wing episode where the one part of the team is in one part of the state and the other part of the team's in the other part of the state. They miss the jet. have to drive home. Okay, because everybody there is very familiar with it, so nobody's fazed by it. But we digress. Back to Word. All right, so moving on, Treasurer's report, Alden.
Okay, yeah, so again, just to mention, since I only got the notice yesterday, I'm not prepared with anything new, although the Treasurer's report is the same as it was at our last steering committee meeting, except that we had one additional club renew their membership. The other change is that all of the 2022 Brooks grant money has been sent out. So that part's all been distributed. So the only thing there is we still have the money that was allocated to Hong Kong from 2021, and that's set aside. And we may be getting additional money from Brooks because of the money they withheld to cover the mailing of all the Pride packages and so forth. And there may be a little extra money that they will send on to us. We just don't know, have to wait till all the mailings are complete. So don't know what that number is, but so they reserved like $2,000 to handle all the mailing. And if they didn't spend it all, they'd give us the remainder.
Okay.
Well, they sent me for Sydney Front Runners a giant box. That would have cost that would have cost a lot of money.
Yeah, so we'll have to see.
Have we had any feedback on those? 'Cause I can give you some.
On
I
the
haven't seen
packages
them,
or
Wayne.
the grant?
No, the t-shirts.
The reason you haven't seen them is because,
Or do you have a sample?
yes,
Display it. Off he goes.
we got Sydney was we got theirs in the second round. We got 50 different sizes.
Oh, you might need to
Yeah.
stand back, Wayne. You're not in frame. There you are. It's pretty plain, isn't it?
They're dark, dark, dark purple.
Well, we can use it for Wear It Purple Day.
Yeah, so printing is a giant problem now.
Well, maybe around the time of Wear It Purple Day, if people want to, they could bring it to their run and sort of just get everyone to wear one, like pick them out of the box and put them on or something.
So anyway, the feedback is the excitement of getting them has completely gone. Because
well.
it's now become a problem. We don't know what to do with it.
Well, there's my suggestion is that everybody might like to take them to their club and distribute them for a photo for Wear It Purple Day and let people keep them. And there's your waste disposal problem done as well.
No, because in the grant application, we told them why we wanted it and what we wanted.
We're going to print something on them.
Yes,
We're going to do something, were we?
We've
made a problem for ourselves.
We said we wanted, well, you had to
Yep.
put in the grant application. And we asked them, we wanted them for World Pride.
Okay.
So now it's, anyway.
All
We
right.
all sorted it. Sydney Front Run, but I've heard from other clubs and they all went, yeah, we got purple. And I went, oh my God. They're just getting rid of stock that they don't want.
Well, purple is actually a really uncommon color. If you try and find purple stuff, there isn't a lot. So, you know,
That's not the point.
so I think anyway, so if you want to come up with something, but otherwise you have to think about your World Pride idea and see if we can action it. If we can't action it, then
might have to sort it out. So Alden, are you going to replace Richard as a contact for Brooks, or?
That's still open. We were looking to see if someone would volunteer.
Michael Ambrose has volunteered, as you see. So, but he's not at this call. So I don't know. Has anybody else volunteered?
Haven't heard anything else, so don't know if anyone else has. I can double check with Richard, just in case anyone passed anything along to him.
Might be you, unless unless you want to deputize somebody.
Well, it would be nice if someone was interested to be able to handle that. I mean, just as a
It really has to be a North American.
Additional participation.
Yeah. And it'd be really good if it was someone in Seattle, but anyway.
Right, that was my thought too. So.
Yeah.
Well, actually, is there anybody in Seattle front runners that might be interested in doing it that you know?
I don't know offhand, but maybe we should try and send a note out and try to get some feedback from them.
Do you know who's in Seattle? Jake Podolsky.
Yeah.
And then he seems to be keen to join our steering committee.
Do they run with us? Do they run with Seattle front runners? Woody, do you know?
Front runner?
I think they're part of Seattle for Ours committee as well.
Okay. Are you going to be talking to them?
I would love to talk to them.
Well, I mean,
I'm going to be interviewing them anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in contact with them. It's just that the time zone hasn't been helpful. It took a long time to get them to review the constitutions together.
The other thing is, I think there was a suggestion of Thomas, but Thomas is maybe too busy. He's not on the committee anymore. So, yeah. So there's some ideas. Alden, if you want to talk to Richard and just see if anybody else has come forward.
Yeah, I'll do that. And then,
And
then we can
maybe
also put out a contact to Seattle just to see if anyone might be interested separately. Yeah.
we can ask. I think Jake would be good if
Yeah.
they're a runner. If they're not a runner, then as just a contact, that's not much use. So we just need to clarify that, and then you can get some help.
Right.
Because I think it's limited what you have to do. Although Richard seemed to do a lot, there was a big review stage that I think is a big burden on people. But
Yeah,
that was the way.
There was a lot of follow-up.
Another person who is in Seattle right now is Goras Tarasdar. The person who's from Bengaluru for honors, but he moved to Seattle. I've already introduced Goras to Jake, and then I don't really know if he's based in Seattle right now, but for Bengaluru for honors specifically, Bengaluru got their shirts from Brooks, and then that required a lot of like back and forth conversations. So Gora has been in a lot of conversations with Brooks for their own club, for their specific, particularly Bengaluru club, but then with the international Brooks as well with Richard.
Gaurav, what's the?
Tarasdar.
Could you spell that?
Gourav, and then Cara. I forgot. Sorry.
Okay, that's okay. That's a good start. All right. So if we've got some ideas there. All right, club renewals. Do you have to bounce, Woody?
I do need to bounce, but thank you so much. I will watch this recording of this meeting. So yeah. Thank you. Until then. Ciao.
See ya.
Kia ora. Bye.
Chris, I actually need to leave also.
You're
I was
also
taking a walk around the block. Yeah, I have to listen
Okay.
in later. Happy
All right.
Pride, everyone.
Thank you.
I'll see you
too.
next time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Club renewals, Alden.
Yeah, okay, as far as renewals, as I said, there's only one club that renewed since our last steering committee meeting. So the list is still the same. There's so there's 17 clubs that haven't renewed, and only 5 of those are ones that had paid dues in the past, had membership fees in the past. So I mean, we're in pretty good shape, but it would be nice to finalize those. The question I had related to that is we had talked about taking them off of the IFR website, and there was a question about whether we'd leave them on until the AGM. And I don't know if people still feel that way. The main thing there is just for the AGM, in order to vote at the AGM, they need to be members. So it's just a matter of sorting that out either before the meeting or not.
But
So
I think if they're not financial, they can't vote, right? So
that's right. They can't vote. So
yeah. So
that's one of the things we check about the attendance list for the AGM, just to see what the status of each of them are and confirm. So.
So I think it's fine to groom them after the AGM, but as long as it's understood that they're not going there to vote, they're only going there to observe. And if they haven't updated their payment by then they get taken off.
Right. So we'll plan for that. I know that Brad had that question, just so we can confirm. That's how we'll do it. That's fine.
Alden, did you hear from Berlin? Because I contacted them.
No, haven't yet.
Yeah, there's obviously some problem. Yeah, all right. They
Okay.
exist. They exist.
Yeah.
They're not huge, but they definitely exist.
Yeah, I mean, I went to our website to the under the Find a Club and looked at the links, and all the links are still active, even for the ones that have not renewed. So I mean, the clubs do exist.
Is the list? Is there a list of them?
Yeah, it's on the IFR website. You can go to the club active club list, and you can see which region they're in or not. If there's any questions about reps checking up on them.
So you can actually see the status of them from this report.
Right, and go to membership, and
I don't know why it will never, that password never stays. for this
No,
one
yeah,
site.
yeah.
Blame Brad.
Yeah.
I blame Dashlane, my password manager. So,
Membership,
Alright,
the current
yeah.
clubs, yep,
and you can sort it by region, by, you
Right.
know, yeah, so
It's
country.
currently alphabetical, and otherwise you can sort it by your region, see who's still outstanding. So double check Berlin if you want to.
So fees paid is over here, Randy, if you want to check.
Okay.
And if we just want to go and have a look at Berlin, just for completeness, new club. Oh, new club. So Berlin not paid, 16 members.
No, it's Berlin is showing paid 2022. Or it's been updated, right? So that was it, end of May. Okay, so there was no fee, so I didn't hear anything from them, but they have gone in and updated the,
Oh,
I
that's
think
good. So
so that's
the
covered.
contact
Yep.
did do something good.
Yeah, okay, that's why I need to double check there. Yep.
Because he
And the what-
happens to be on the board of the gay games. So I
Mhm.
hounded him.
Alrighty. Oh, comms, Woody's gone. But I guess there's the IFR. Anything else that we want to get them to do for communications and the AGM?
It would be good if they communicated.
Yep. All right, so with just the items for them
Facebook's
is-
going really well. We're getting lots of new members.
Yep.
We're up to 1,900 or something. Or over 1,900. And anyway, we're getting lots of likes and that because I get little messages all the time.
That's good. And no people trying to take over the site and put
Yeah,
shoe ads on them or anything like that.
I must admit, my reject rate has gone right up, but it's probably because we've been so active. I think people are getting, you know, this group is recommended to you, but we're getting people from Africa and Saudi Arabia that obviously they're not runners, they're not gay.
Yeah.
I look for a couple of different things and I go through everybody's profile that asks.
Yeah, there's a lot of bot activity out there at the moment.
And there's some people who don't, like, who've got a Facebook page and have nothing on it.
Yep, bots.
Yeah, so I don't let them in.
Okay. Newsletter we've talked about, Brooks Scholarship. So Alden, we just talked about that. Wayne, should we talk about the AGM just in the interest of time? First, the AGM agenda. So what do we need on that aside from the standard template? What do we want to put on that? The Constitution?
Yes,
Yeah,
but
provided we get the notice out in time.
Yes,
You have to get the notice out, so that, and if not, then we could hold a special meeting for that.
So
And
do we need to get a notice out like
Yes.
today?
soon.
In the
Right.
next 4 days, I think, given the date,
All right,
or
so
a few days. Let me see.
we'll
Oops.
just,
It's supposed to be a month in advance, right? Isn't that,
I can't
tomorrow.
remember, Alden. It's something like that, yeah.
yeah,
but
And-
if the
and
meeting's
because
on
we
the,
got changed to the Constitution, we have to give them full details.
right. So I don't know, it may not work to include that in the AGM, and that might be easier too.
Technically, it should have, but anyway,
Right. No, it should have been, but
we've been talking about it and talking about it.
so 1, 2, 3, 4. So are we saying, does it have to be 4 weeks? Would that be enough? So if we get this, if Alden, you get the changes to Alan and he sends the agenda out in the next day or two,
yeah, I think the language is a month, not 4 weeks, but
Is
So
it on
does
the
that mean-
website? Alden,
Does-
is it on the website? Let me have a look.
yes. Yeah. Yeah, I don't have it in front of me, so if we can check.
is it on the steering committee website or the main website?
It's on the main website.
And it's about,
Yeah. And then there's a section on changes further down to the changes to the Constitution.
It's under about IFR. Yeah. Oh, you got it.
Yeah. Amendments to these rules.
28 days.
Okay. Not less than 28 days.
So if the meeting's going to be on the 26th, that's 26 days, 27, 28. Needs to go out tomorrow.
By
No,
the
that
20
can't be right.
by
Oh,
the
I'm
29th.
looking at June. I'm looking at
Yeah.
June.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So it's by
26.
the-
26. Needs to go out by Tuesday.
Can I just tell you in
Sorry.
my copy that I've got, it says the secretary give at least 28 days notice, 60 days for AGMs.
Okay, yeah.
Well, why does yours have that and this one doesn't?
I don't know. I just went straight to the website.
What version do you have? This one's
I don't know, whatever's
2019.
on the website.
Well, this one's on the website too.
Yeah.
11.6. Go back to 11.6.
Yeah, that's the notice for the AGM.
That's a quorum.
That,
So if you want to have a AGM,
yeah, there's a separate notice for AGM, right?
yeah, this is about this is about meetings, not the constitution change. So this is amendments is under 13, Wayne.
Well, to me, that's contradictory anyway.
No, there's just if you can't have you can't even have the meeting if you don't have a quorum. So this is setting out what you need for a quorum up here.
And
So
it's
we have to-
and the notice.
It's right.
notice for the-
Anyway, we have to give 20 days, 60 days notice for an annual general meeting.
That's what I
Right.
pointed out. Yeah.
Right. So that's to have the AGM.
Now, I did put something on the Facebook page a long time ago once we started talking about this. So you might want to deem that as, we have given at least 60 days notice. But is Facebook going to be deemed the appropriate form of communication?
Well, notice is given, so.
Nobody but us will know.
Look,
Well,
I agree
this
with
is-
you, but
this
it's
is
only
the
going to
point.
take one person to say it, and we're going to go, okay.
Oh, well, what is it? They said something about the American Constitution, something about human rights expired in 1979, but everyone's just continued to believe that human rights exist in Texas. So, yeah, they apparently only ratified it for 50 years. So I think if we have the AGM, it's voted on, then the contest is at that point. If people want to say you don't have enough, you haven't given enough notice, then that's where you'd see that. So
Right.
should we proceed if we can get this notice out by the 28th with making the change? So Volden, you can submit your revised constitution to
Yeah.
Alan, and he puts the notice out to all the clubs,
Right.
and we get it published on the website. And Wayne, if you put up, once that's published, if you put up the same thing on Facebook, that should be enough. If we do that on Tuesday. So what else do we need on the agenda?
So you have the standard things as far as the elections and the reps and so forth.
Mhm.
Do you know who is up this time, Alden, by chance?
I do have the list at my desk. I'm not there right now, but I can send that out over the next couple days.
Okay, thanks.
Yep.
Do the reps do any kind of report that is sent in?
We used to, but it used to, that when you had a physical meeting that could go on for a day, but we just, it'll take hours otherwise. So,
Well, that I was thinking maybe if wasn't there a written report that was just submitted like but not gone over or something?
The
or
newsletter.
Yeah. Well, we could also do that for the AGM, and that was one of my things I was going to talk about. If you wanted to try and handle some of the things just by written reports get submitted, and that would cut down the time for the AGM just to do the critical things, that might help. Just given the format we have this year.
And I think, if I can remember rightly, they've only got the room for an hour or so.
Right, that's why I was wondering. That was the
Yeah.
topic I was going to bring up when we got to the AGM. It's
Okay.
just we might want to try and cut down just to the critical things, and whether we have the reps submit a written report that just can be distributed, that kind of thing, that might help things.
So do we want to take the newsletter as the thing that we table at the AGM for the written report from the clubs? Or do you want to ask them separately to submit a
we
report?
might
If
have
people
to,
feel
because
if people feel that's current enough, otherwise,
I don't think you're going to, if this is an indication, how many regional reps are online right now?
Yes.
So I don't think we're going to get regional reps to do a report.
No. So let's take the report, the newsletter as
It's going to have to
written
be
report.
the newsletter.
Yep.
Now, if regional reps haven't got their clubs to put an article in, and there's nothing from that whole region, that then becomes a problem.
Well, in the past, we've had nothing. We've had
Yeah.
nothing from the whole region, but I don't think we're in that sort of shape at the moment. I think we've
Okay.
got
Yeah.
2 or 3 from each region. So the
Right.
regional reps
So
are
we-
doing something.
Good.
right. So we could just cross-check with the newsletter, see if anyone's missing, and then Chris, if you would want to reach out to those folks, then that might be a way to cover
Yep.
it.
Yep. Okay. So, and what else do we need in the AGM agenda? There'll be there's a gay games and the special projects and
yes, I've got something. Yeah. The people from Hong Kong probably want to do a presentation for 5 minutes.
okay. I guess we should ask the hosts if they want to do a presentation. Eurogames. I mean, their activity will be in action, but whether we just I'll say to Martin, do they want to actually put anything into the deck?
Well, they know in advance where their next few ones are.
Yeah. So we'll ask Martin if he can ask them if they want to make a submission, like 5 minutes.
Could be something at the beginning as part of a welcome, and then a little information or something like that.
Sounds good. So there'll be a Federation of Gay Games report.
Yeah, we have to have all the usuals. Yeah.
Special projects, do you want to put anything in for that? We haven't organised any sponsorships or anything for this one.
Not so far, right? You're talking about scholarships and so forth?
Yeah.
We haven't. No.
Yeah.
So there's nothing for
Right.
that. So we can leave that off. Do you want to put anything about, unless you want to talk about the Brooks project, how that went, but that'll be covered in your report, I guess, Eldon.
Yeah, I mean, well, I have the facts and figures as far as what went out, but we don't have a lot of, I don't have a lot of feedback, otherwise about the Brooks. But I mean, we can put out the information that it happened, and just so that more clubs are
I think
aware.
that's good, Alden. Just give out the facts, the stats.
Yeah.
So do you want to cover that separately in the special put a special projects Brooks?
Yeah, I think that would be good, just as a separate topic, so that people are focused on that.
And then you could say, if you haven't paid your dues and you got Brooks money, shame on you.
Right.
What am I doing writing this down like a cave person? So
I got to tell you all a funny aside, how we're all gone so electronic these days. We had our Pride run yesterday. Pride in Australia is not a big deal. So we had about 60 people there. And I'd sent out the rego form to our president, but sadly our president left it at home, the paperwork. Do you think we could find paper out of all those 60 people? We eventually got 2 sheets of white paper, of A4 paper. And here it is. I've got, and on the back is other information, nothing to do with it. So it all had to go back to old-fashioned handwriting and finding everybody's name.
Yeah, too old school. Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? We couldn't find 2 sheets. Well, we needed 4 sheets of paper. We got 2. You got voting. We got election. Sorry, Chris.
Yeah, election of reps.
Oh, sorry. Yep.
Reps report, FGG report.
And election of officers.
Treasurer's report, secretary's report,
Mhm.
president's report.
No, that's covered in the newsletter.
All right. But I think you actually have to say it.
Okay.
Right.
So is the reports before the elections?
Yes, because you
Yep.
cease being in that position, or you potentially. Yeah.
Yes, somebody might stab me on the rotunda.
Yeah.
Oh, it's daylight.
And there'll be more of that, Wayne. We've passed the shortest day.
Yes.
Okay, that's all I had on the notes. Oh, special projects, Brooks.
Alden, are you aware of do we have to do anything to meet or fulfill USA legislation? See, in Australia, we have to appoint a thing called a public
a company officer. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only thing we have to do is we do have to report to the IRS given our 501c3 status. So we just have an annual filing.
Right. So we don't need to do anything special.
Nothing real special. I just have to complete the filing or else
Right.
or else your status is in jeopardy.
I'll have Jeopardy for 500. Thank you.
Right.
Is that show still on TV?
It is.
Oh God.
What is it? In what, the 50th season or something like that? I don't
Must
know.
be something, yeah. Ours is gone.
Is it?
Okay. Anything else to add?
Well, there is potential that Guadalajara might want something.
Other business then.
Yeah, just put, yeah. It's just that Hong Kong has particularly asked. I had a meeting, a real meeting this week.
Okay. Well, you had him. What's real?
As in, we went and had coffee. The director of sports in Sydney. He's
you
actually
could have reached out and touched them.
He's actually an Australian guy. He's an ABC, Australian-born Chinese, and he's from Sydney, and he's here on holidays. And he particularly asked. Now, it's very likely he's going to become the co-president of the Hong Kong Gay Games.
All right. Anything else? Should we have a look at last year's agenda to just refresh our minds about?
Yeah, and I can look at some of those and get back to you on that as well.
All right. So we're happy with that as us. Yep.
Good framework to start. Yep.
So all we need then is for you to get that to Alan and we publish it. And anyway, Wayne, once Alden publishes his revisions, it might be good if you could put that on the Facebook as well, just in case.
I can do it as soon as I see it.
Yep. Okay. So anything more on AGM? Okay, moving on. Oh, yes. Okay, go ahead. Wayne, IFR Day.
We had IFR Day. I extended it to about 9 or 10 days or something, only because of time difference. And I was getting lots of questions directly from clubs saying, hey, we don't really meet on a Wednesday. And I went, well, the whole idea is you can do it any time around there. So I extended a bit. I was very happy with the number and the diversity of clubs around the globe that did stuff. It was a little disappointing. I must say that some clubs said, I know nothing about this. And I went, well, didn't your regional reps tell you? And they went, what's a regional rep? And I went, okay, let's go back. So I tried to explain as quickly as I could because time was running out. We just wanted them to have something on the day, in that period. Lots of clubs did it. I think also some clubs got muddled up that they thought it was Pride. It's not Pride. That's something to learn for next year. We'll have to emphasize that this is not a Pride activity. It's our own thing. We want to extend it so people can actually put reasons why they're in front runners eventually online. We could also do that during the year as well, but it would be good if they did that.
Yeah, I think
overall, for a first, I thought it went quite well, and people got involved, and so it was great.
your responses were good. I think we have that problem with everything on the LGBT calendar. We've got Wear It Purple Day conflicting with Daffodil Day for us, Wayne. So corporates are very
make
keen.
A wonderful daffodil.
They're keen on doing LGBT themed things until it conflicts with their anti-cancer stuff at my cancer treatment company. So yes, we got bumped from that one, but we did get our Ida Hot point on the calendar. But then, there's nothing to stop you from wearing a purple shirt with a daffodil badge or something like that. You can have multiple.
Next year, it's even more complicated for us in this part of the earth because we're going to have
We've got World Pride, yeah. World Pride and Mardi Gras at the same time.
And then another Pride.
Mm-hmm. You can never have too much pride.
Okay, well, maybe.
Gay Games, Wayne, is there any movement on that?
Yes, the exciting news is that Guadalajara has signed their paperwork. However, as the leading sport and as a person on so many various committees in the Federation, I've heard zilch from them. I discussed with Hong Kong about that money again, Alden. They don't even know what. Just so you all know, a lot of people that were on the previous Hong Kong committee have resigned and have left, and there's a whole bunch of new people on the committee. This new guy didn't even know what the rainbow flag was and the run. However, he knew about our money. So they're not worried by money at the moment. They're quite
swimming in cash.
Rich. They're quite rich. Because they've got like quite a few $1 million worth of sponsorship. They're going ahead. Hong Kong's going ahead. It's going to be a smaller games. Originally, we heard 7,000. This guy now has revised down to 5,000. Of that 5,000, there will be about 1,000 from Asia coming in at heavily discounted prices to get them there. They've got a lot of sponsorship. They're going to universities and private organizations to hold their events. It will be on
next year.
Yes, next year. They're really keen on getting a lot more Asian people. That's where they see their participation. I've heard nothing from Guadalajara, and it's quite annoying because we don't know what to do. We've got this money for the Rainbow Flag Run, but we're not sure, is there going to be 2? Is there going to be just 1? It's sounding though that Guadalajara is going to be much bigger because particularly the Americans are going to go there. Anybody that's scared of risk is going to go to Guadalajara. Europeans have said they're going to Guadalajara. Australians are saying, what's Guadalajara? So nobody
It's where
knows
Speedy
where Guadalajara-
Gonzalez's cousin, Slowpoke Rodriguez, lives.
So I said, oh my God, it's where Wile E. Coyote goes with, what's that road runner?
No, he's in New Mexico.
Oh, I know, but I tell them it's in Guadalajara.
Yes.
They have no idea. So they're going to Guadalajara because they've never heard of it, and it's quite interesting. Anyway, but we've heard nothing from Guadalajara, and that's the scary part.
Okay.
And
Oh, well.
I'm telling you that as a delegate, I'm not on the board of the federation. The board might know a lot more, but it's sad that they haven't released information to us.
Well, if they've managed to get a signature on some paper. We
That's
don't have-
taken a long time now.
So who's our rep for Mexico?
Juan, and he's on holiday. He's in Aruba.
Yeah, Aruba, celebrating Saint Juan, having corn.
I
What?
wish he'd buy some clothes.
Saint John Day. That's his saint's day.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. I didn't understand
Yeah.
it. I went, oh.
Yeah,
haven't-
that's it. That's all the thing with the saint's day, and that's the time. It's a big
When's
thing.
St. Wayne's Day?
There's
Yeah,
no
I
St.
missed him.
Wayne.
Oh, there should be.
Yeah, there's no St. Christopher. Well,
There
there's
is a St. Christopher.
no. He's only a myth. He's not a real person.
He got demoted.
He's only a story.
Oh. Is there a
Yeah.
St. Alden?
No, never.
Oh.
So just to help me bring me up to speed, are the games happening in both cities at the
They're happening
same
in
time?
both cities exactly the same time. Yes, I have put that information out before. So yeah,
Okay.
it's very. They're having it 3rd to the 11th of November.
If
Same
we went-
events?
No, you haven't been reading your information. They've got different sports in different places.
I'm sorry, I missed the last steering committee
Well,
meeting.
this is-
No, no,
Here's
but
a-
it's on
here's your
Facebook.
chance.
I've been posting on Facebook all the time. As
Here's
soon
your
as I
chance.
get
To,
information, yeah.
here's your chance to succinctly summarize it, Wayne. So Go Games will be co-hosted. Click above for more information. List of sports.
Okay,
Yeah, I have put it out. So running is on in both cities. However, only Hong Kong is having trail running.
Okay.
So
So
that's
5
how
to
it
10K
affects us.
And a marathon and half marathon in Guadalajara. So they'll
yeah,
both be doing
they're
that.
having
Well,
it in
who's the
both.
winner? Who's the winner?
They're having it. Well, that I don't know. I don't know. I got enough problems. It's so complicated. Now this binary issue. It's
Well, all right. So if
unbelievably
you
complicated.
if you do something like this, how do you normally decide on who's the people get? There are 2 winners that year.
Yes,
So there'll be a winner in Guadalajara and a winner in Hong Kong.
yes.
All right. Everyone's a winner. Sounds great. Okay. So there you go. Randy, we probably should just point people to that link as well.
It's on our Facebook. I've been putting it on
And-
Facebook.
And Wayne's
I've
been
been
publishing
putting
it.
lists. I've been putting
Yeah.
up lists.
And the Federation has been posting it as
Yep.
well.
There was a newsletter just the other day.
Yeah.
Okay. All righty.
None of this is new. It's been out for quite a few months.
So there's a lot there. Oh, and there's their feed as well. You can, if you're a Twitter person, Facebook or Instagram. No TikTok. All right. Anything more about Go Games then, Wayne?
No, I can't wait for them to happen because it's meeting after meeting after meeting. Anyway, go on.
Okay, yes, this is, what is it? The Gay Games for 2021 has carried on for far too long. What is it, a 4 or 5 year
It
marathon
should have
for you,
been
isn't it?
2022. It should have been this year.
Right.
Okay. Brings us to reps. So we still haven't got, so Alan has put his hand up for the Canadian rep. Does anybody have any objection to putting that forward at the AGM as well for election for that region? Anybody else got any other ideas, or are
Well,
we
it
happy to
means
go?
we will need a secretary.
Well, can he not do both? I used to do Sydney as
could.
well.
Yes, you could. Yeah.
Yeah. He says he can do both. So I said, are you sure? Because, you know,
I don't
secretaries
think
already a
Canada's
lot.
got many it's like Australia. It's not.
Yeah,
it's
he can just do
probably
it by
less than
email.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah, that wasn't the intent, but I guess it can cover it unless there's someone else interested.
You can cover it. Alden, did you say? Or
No.
he can cover it, right? Yes. So yes, I think that him and Emma had a talk, and there wasn't anybody immediately suggested it, and so he said, "So okay, I can't do it." And
It's a 7-hour drive to the border.
well, you might need to. Have you got your bug out kit in case you need to get out of there? Like in case they suddenly revise something,
Yeah,
and overnight all your rights disappear.
right. So as part of the meeting notice, I mean, I guess it's in general, we should just, when we send out the notice, mention that the various positions that are open.
Yeah.
Might help, just so that if people are interested, let them know that there are positions open.
Yep. So people, we'll say that the Canadian rep, and we'll put forward Canadian rep and the Federation of Gay Games rep positions. But Wayne, is there anybody else that would take Xander's position?
No, nothing clearly. No.
Because the reason we had Xander there too was because of not Gay Games. It was the other.
Out games? No.
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 He was Gay Games.
He was always Federation.
He was always Federation. Okay.
Yeah.
So we just need another Federation of Go Games rep.
Right. Which is.
And I have officially told the Federation, and they've acknowledged it, and they've come back saying it would be really terrific to have a woman. Well, we haven't had a female Federation delegate, I think, since Eureka, I think.
Eureka, yes.
And sadly, she died. And
did she really?
Yeah, she had.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She died a couple of years ago. I think she had breast cancer.
Oh wow.
Oh, sorry, Alden. I thought you knew.
Yeah, no, I didn't. Oh well, that's too bad.
She was living in Chicago, I think, or something like that.
Right. I think, yeah.
So Wayne, maybe if you could put a short job description together.
I'm going to do that, Chris. It's on my long list of other things.
Yes.
There's been a few things going on.
And maybe put it on the Facebook saying there's
It'll
a Federation to go.
There.
Yeah.
It's going to be very long because I want everybody to know that it's not just something scant. It's a very busy, active.
No, that's
role.
right. It's a lot of meetings. It's a lot of hours.
Yes.
Compared to being regional rep, which is
much more.
A lot of people find onerous. It's much worse. Yeah.
And if you're in Australia or this part of the world, they have the meetings at all odd hours like this.
Yes, you weren't on, but I said my alarm went off at 5 o'clock, and I went, "What the hell is that?"
I've had it for 3 mornings in a row.
Yeah. All right. So reps. Anything else?
No. Not so far.
What's the quorum on a meeting? Because I know
that
we
was in there. I had it.
We started out with a lot of people.
10%, isn't it, Alden?
No, it's the number of people that attend the meeting are a quorum.
Oh, so if only 2 gather in our name, then that's enough.
That's a quorum, as long as it's an officially noticed meeting.
Okay. All right.
Technically, we don't have a quorum here. This says the quorum for steering committee meetings shall be more than 50%.
Did we start? We started with 7.
Yeah, we sort of lost it.
Well, does that mean that once we lose it, or is it enough to start?
it says the quorum for the AGM or special GM shall consist of the clubs represented by their delegates in attendance. So what Alden said is correct, that if we
The
get
number of-
20 clubs or we get 90 clubs, that's what our quorum is.
Right.
So the AGM will go ahead.
Yeah, there's not a quorum issue with AGMs.
Yeah. So the AGM will go ahead. It's whether each individual issue that's raised can go ahead because of the time limit.
All right, we should be aware of that for future. Don't have anything substantive that we're voting on here, so it's not a problem. But we should just be aware of that for the future. And we take your point, Alden, that people need to be checking rather than just sending an email around checking to see if attendance is going to happen.
Right. Because that could be part of the problem. Yeah.
The secretary and the treasurer, the secretary and me need to reach out more to people. So take that on board.
Yeah.
So AGM is the next meeting. We don't normally set a date for the meeting after that. We normally just say
No.
the AGM and then pick it up from there.
Right.
Yeah.
Whoever happens to be president and secretary can then
That's
carry
right.
on.
I forgot
We
about the
don't know.
rotunda. Yes.
Yes. Got the elections.
Even
So-
more painful than the arras.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Any other business?
Mm.
We're all happy to continue with our days then?
Hang on.
Yes.
All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we'll
Okay,
see you at the AGM, but online.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. See you.
Bye.
Have a good day.
No.
Bye.